Excited to be here and tell you about DataPrime. Our website is prime.ai, and it was co-founded by myself and two others. Aaron is a Naval Academy grad. I'm the Air Force Academy. And John, our chief data scientist, gray hair in the room. He's a big military enthusiast, so loves the military, didn't serve himself, but is probably a better military historian than that I've ever met. From our perspective, Aaron was formerly at AWS, Amazon Web Services, leading a P&L in their AI practice. Before that, he helped companies like Nike and a lot of others as he helped build out the practice at Accenture for advanced machine learning and a lot of different use cases across industries. And John was previously at JDA Software, which is now called Blue Yonder, where he was a chief scientist of revenue management. So doing a lot of the advanced machine learning at the enterprise level. Love to tell you more about the team as we go, but we're on a crunch here, so let's get rolling. DataPrime, well, the big idea was take a lot of the best use cases for machine learning in the industry around different businesses, driving revenue and taking costs out of the business, but doing it in a way that is not big package software and it's not big expensive consulting like Accenture, Deloitte, et cetera. So what was the happy medium of trying to pre-build a lot of these machine learning models in a easily accessible cloud environment, wrapped in APIs, and only deploying what these companies need, not giving them a new workflow tool, another user interface to learn and try to interact with and do a 12-month integration. You just want the answer. What should I charge this customer? How should I do my inventory optimization, et cetera, et cetera. So the whole idea was to go ahead and do this in a lightweight fashion. So we started about 4 years ago. And we do have an enterprise customer in LexisNexis. We have a 3-year contract with them, deploying one of these engines actually into healthcare, doing optimization for HIPAA compliance. So they have a big, large marketplace for adding and essentially taking medical claims and mortality data and socioeconomic data, combining it all together, and our engine essentially treats those large data assets and makes them sellable on the marketplace. We've also created, through this architecture, an end-to-end machine learning solution that can really go after private equity. We've done the big public company thing. I think a lot of our expansion going forward is going to be going into this niche of saying, hey, this private equity firm is about to purchase a company. What's the AI potential for that company? And then once that company is actually acquired, we deploy on day one with a plan to start driving EBITDA for top line and bottom line growth. So with that being said, here's our quick credentials on a lot of the brain trust that we have. We, some ideas of the different projects. And if you see something on here, you want to chat afterwards about what we did at these different companies, let us know. But a lot of it is in and around pricing and revenue management or taking costs out of the business through different optimizations. So definitely a lot of exciting pieces that went into the current IP that we have. Won't spend too much time here, but everyone knows the chat GPTs of the world and all the new large language models coming out. It's garbage in, garbage out. So how good the data is really what drives how effective these things can be. And so if you're not one of those companies drilling for oil and mining all of our data today, you're a mid-market private equity firm making widgets. How do you compete with this and how do you use your own data? And so that's kind of where we jump in. The mock architecture, being an Air Force guy, I loved it when I saw it, right? But I did not come up with this. Microservices, API, cloud native headless. Again, if you ever want more information on this, but the whole idea is big package software, everything's together, large integrations, and you're buying the whole thing or not at all. Mock is allowing for a way to access existing tech stacks, clouds or on-prem servers, pulling the data, crunching the math, and pushing back to however that last mile they want. Would they like a little Power BI or Tableau dashboard? Do they want to go back into Salesforce? We don't decide that last mile. We're going to be this back-end operation that allows for the insights to be given. Another cool graphic on it. Happy to explain if you guys want to know more, but essentially this is a client and their transactional data. We have secure APIs that train the machine learning models. And then as they need insights, they hit these APIs on the predict side and it goes back into their environment so they can be consumed by the person making the business decisions. PE playbook for AI ML. We focused a lot on operating partners. We have 6 private equity firms that we're working with right now. We have a 7th that wants to potentially bring part of our services in-house as they go and deploy about $4 billion in committed capital. So they are looking to do a big industry roll-up and they want DataPrime to be that connective tissue, everything from identifying a potential company for acquisition, due diligence, operational deployment, and then exit. So if you have the same brain watching and going all the way through the life cycle, there's synergies there that don't really exist in current private equity firms, which kind of have deal teams that go and do all this deal stuff all day long. They throw it over the wall. And then the operational teams have to go do operational, operational excellence, Lean Six Sigma, all that fun stuff. But we're trying to be that toolkit. We're saying, okay, well, you're going to go do your operational excellence playbook. What about the data and machine learning playbook? It's 2023. You need to be looking at this stuff. These are the typical results that we get from when we go and deploy in a private equity backed company specifically. And we can get up to 50% EBITDA gains. This is why we got a lot of attention pretty quick, because they said, okay, well, you said you can do it, let's prove it, right? And so with that being said, one of the most popular ones that we do out of the gate is a machine learning forecast. This exists in the world other places, but I call this tier one analytics, and it's a heck of a lot more expensive to get access to it, either building custom or having a big package software do it. Our model is about speed and cost while getting this basically highest tier of machine learning for doing things like forecasting the demand. If you can look into the future, it can feed into a lot of other use cases, things around revenue and pricing and dynamic pricing, and even optimization of how much inventory should I have in the distribution centers and where should it go. All of those decisions get better when you understand what the future looks like. This is what we give to PE firms after we're able to do our initial assessment. So we come in and say, how should we deploy these machine learning engines and in what order? Well, we have about a 65 question survey built into our private equity software. And what it allows us to do is go through and understand their go-to-market strategy, their current systems that they're using, ERPs, CRMs, whatever they're having. And at the end of it, we spit out, okay, these are the top 5 machine learning models your business should be using. And then here's the historical impact that other businesses have achieved when they deploy these models. So we give them a number and say, based on what we know and the margins that you told us, we expect that roughly 40% EBITDA increase. So this is how we get in there and give them something to go talk to the CEO of the portfolio company about, saying, hey, I think you need to talk to these guys. And it's been working pretty well. This is what the actual software looks like. This is, we kind of have this big map of all the different use cases and models that are out there. Based upon how that assessment comes in our initial look at the business, we can tell them which models we should deploy in what order and the estimated impact and their data readiness, ready to go, and how fast it'll take. So all of those things factor into this, and we try to figure out across all the models which one's going to be the biggest impact for the smallest lift, and then expand from there. Running out of time, so I don't need, can't go much longer on this, but here's an example of an aviation MRO. We have these are the top 4 that we would recommend for them, how long it would take, and the ROI. Again, if you're interested in how moving pieces and parts businesses can take access to these models running through our software, love to chat with you about it. This is a big complicated diagram, but this is essentially us on the outside, all coming into their internal environment. So which engine does what across predictive maintenance all the way to pricing optimizations. This is how we hook into existing tech stacks, get them the answers without having to be a big UI. LexisNexis, as I mentioned, uses one of our big optimization engines on their healthcare marketplace. And that's been a big revenue driver for us and a good feather in the cap from a logo perspective. You can see this on the website. This is how we break down a lot of the different engines and use cases that you saw on the UI, trying to order them and by EBITDA impact. And finally, DataPrime. So why invest? Obviously, the 3-year big contract with a large name and all the traction we have in private equity and the recurring revenue that comes from paying for monthly access to the engines we deploy. And our current raise is a convertible note. We are 90% subscribed, so we're looking for that last 10%. We've raised 3.7 million out of 4.3 million today, and we'd love to partner with some veteran-minded investors, either veterans themselves or advocates, and go from there. So thanks for your time.